Ongoing call.
And we are live.
Okay, then. Where am I?
Yes, sir. Good
There
evening,
we go.
everyone in the audience. This is Brother Taalik, assistant to Brother Taalik Ibn'rad of the Reality Temple Ministries, aka Operation Exodus, Mississippi. And I'm just opening up for the brother who's going to be the keynote speaker on whatever today's topic may be. And however, I've been just sitting back, in all this division going on amongst us here on social media, YouTube land, and all the controversy and stuff, and at the end of the day, I'm coming to the conclusion that it may not be too much time at all left for us. We may be heading to the mass grave, because of our, uncooperation to come together on certain simple things, even if it's just a simple project like Operation Exodus, Mississippi. And, I wouldn't doubt that these white folks might be actually planning to, in fact, even, and out there for those who claim Pan-Africanism or Afrocentrism, it wouldn't surprise me that the reason why the United States have a lot of United States troops situated across the continent of Africa, because they may have designated spots that they may put us on the boat and send us straight to, so they could annihilate us like that as well. I mean, and but either way it go, we know that they got a plan for us, and the plan is to exterminate us. And that process right now is in motion. So, I mean, people want to keep playing with this thing called liberation, or, playing with just wanting to be a slave and being comfortable with their oppression. Hey, my thing is that's on y'all, for those of y'all that rather do that, because I'm trying to be free, and those who are trying to waste brothers and sisters' time, that's really we trying to obtain liberation for us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. The best thing to do is not waste our time. We won't waste your time. Definitely, because this thing is serious. America as a nation is on the decline right now. And the way things is even that's going on over in Europe and across the world is right now on edge. In America is right in the middle of it. So it's no telling what might happen at any given time. I mean, we're living in times right now unseen ever before in this nation's history. Ever since the inception of this nation, we are seeing stuff happening all across this land, to the point that even Caucasians are becoming more divided among themselves as a people. Especially when it comes to the political aspect of things in this country. And so, like I said, it is getting very, 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 very serious, to the point where a lot of us is going to end up, either we gonna make it to the land, to the promised land that MLK talked about, or we gonna die. Simple as that. I'm like this, and I'm pretty sure Brother Taalik can speak for himself. But for me, I'm like this here. I'd rather die to be free than to remain a slave.
Mm.
You know, under the circumstances of being dark-skinned, as a descendant of slaves born in America, you know, I just don't see no way for us to get out of this except for us to take control of a state or a few, you know, so that we can have us a sanctuary, safety, especially when all this get ready to touch down. Because, like I said, America is at a point right now where it's losing its respect abroad as a nation, and it's losing its respect here among the domesticated population. And like I said, we do not know when things might totally crumble, you know, and with us wasting time and playing games, especially over petty differences and stuff, and trying to use each other in the name of the so-called black struggle and all this kind of stuff, you know. Like I said, we just going to end up being exterminated. We won't be the first, and I'm sure we won't be the last civilization of people for that to happen to. So, I mean, we can keep playing this game all we want to, you know, with ourselves and with each other, and, you know, just sit back, and when they slap you in the face, you know, it may be that at the point where it'll be too late, you know. So, like I said, for me, I'm just at the point that, you know, I'm not going to give up on our people, but the question is our people willing to fight or give up on themselves? You know, and if our people is willing to fight, then, you know, those are the ones that's going to be on the winning team. And those that's going to give up is going to be the ones that's not going to be on the winning team. And that's just the fact of the matter. So, I mean, it don't take that many of us, you know, to make this course, you know, as far as taking this course toward obtaining our liberation from under almost over 400 years of slavery, oppression, and Jim Crow and mass incarceration. It don't take that many of us. And it's not going to take that much with this project called Operation Exodus, Mississippi, as some may want to think. You know, but my thing is this, is that those who are willing to get serious with this project, you're welcome to come on board. You know, and those that are not willing to get serious with this project nor take it serious, just stay on the sidelines. You know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, because, I mean, like I said, we may not have too much time left in the matter anyway.
Yes. You
know, these white folks, you know, they planning and plotting every day. And they got the resources to do it with. You know, and I mean, you know, you got the mentality of thinking that we can't never go back into what they call physical or chattel slavery. Well, I say this to all of us as, you know, dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. We need to rethink on that reality, on that false way of thinking, because the reality is they got all the resources to make that happen. And like I said, it's 1 or 2 FEMA concentration camps and mass graves. And I mean, that is simply part of the reality. You know, like I've told you other different times, you could go Google it, research it for yourselves. You know, you can't expect these white folks just to give you all out open information on how they plot your destruction. That's why you got to do your own independent studies on it. You know, but like I said, at the same time, while we arguing and bickering over religion, doctrine, teaching, and all this other nonsense, You know what I'm saying? They're plotting our destruction every day. You know, just think about it. Look at how many of us is getting killed every day in some American city, you know, by some racist cop because of the color of our skin, or by some just racist, ordinary person, period, that don't like us because of the color of our skin. And I ain't just talking about Caucasians. I'm even talking about other people like the immigrants and even the darker skin immigrants, like the Mexicans, you know, the Guatemalans, those that's trying to get across that border every day to get in this country. You know, them type of people, you know, who don't share our agenda as far as our cause for liberation, nor do they share our plight. And I want to just remind us is that our fight is not their fight either. Because they've shown us clearly that their fight is not our fight. Just look at how they treat us. You know, when they open up businesses and operate in our communities. You know, I mean, I see it around here where I'm at all the time. You know, how they feel about us. And the same mentality they got is directed by the racists influentially. So, I mean, you know, they definitely, not only are they influenced by the racists, but a lot of them have their own personal hatred, darker skinned people. Think about it, they don't even treat they woolly darker skin population, they woolly hair darker skin population down in Mexico and other parts of south of the border, you know, like in Central America and South America. You know, y'all need to Google information on how they treat their darker skin populations, you know, and that'll give you more intel on why they feel the way they feel about us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America when they do enter into the borders of these United States. You know, I mean, they don't care nothing about even the Puerto Ricans who've been here longer than any other so-called darker-skinned immigrant, because they are considered as a part of the Commonwealth of the United States. I mean, they really don't like us either, you know, and have had no problem of letting it be shown, you know, from personal experience and general experience, you know, and that's why when Trump allowed them, you know what I'm saying, to be deserted, when Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, you know, hey, I mean, basically, I didn't really have no concern for it, you know, because they don't have no concern. Like I said, when it come to our plight, you don't see them massively all out in the streets with us, not even when we have those Black Lives Matter protests and marches. You won't be seeing them massively out there with us like that. So, I mean, we have to wake up and realize that all we got is dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. I mean, you know, and we have to understand and realize that the only way we are going to obtain our freedom is we got to take it. It's, you know, it's like it was taken from us. We got to simply take it back. It's not going to be handed to us. We've been shown that affirmative action and civil rights is nothing but you know, it's nothing but a pacifier and hypocritical, you know, to our well-being. You know, they've changed laws, took out, you know, they, whether they've added, I don't know, but they took it out, whatever it was that was implemented in certain laws that was supposed to be for the benefit of us as dark-skinned slave descendants born in America, you know, during the civil rights movement. You know, some of those laws have been removed off the books. We've seen it in the past ongoing years up to now. And they don't intend on stopping with abolishing them laws. You know, especially when you got these white folks that could come out and say, well, that's reverse racism and all this and that. You know what I'm saying? And use that as a ploy to cause that to happen. You know, like every 25 years, a president got to re-sign the Civil Rights Act law. I mean, come on. So you really think that they intended for us to have do you truly think they intended for us to have rights as a people, you know, in this country, far as us as dark-skinned people who are descendants of slaves born in America? First of all, they never intended for us to get out of slavery. Let me get that straight. So, I mean, you know, that's just, I mean, we really got to be aware of this, how serious our plight is. And, you know, that we can't keep on playing with this, you know, ideal of liberation. You know, because, you know, like I said, you know, everything we tried, whether it's been Pan-Africanism, so-called Pan-Africanism, Afrocentrism, Egyptology, you know, Kemetism, Islamism, Christianityism, etc., you know, and so forth and on. I mean, it hasn't worked for us because we still find ourselves in the situation we've been in for over 400 years on our sojourn as a people in this nation. And, you know, what more can I really say at this time, you know, than that we just need to wake up and smell the coffee and just stop playing games with our lives, with our future generations' lives, you know, because it is supposed to be about our future generations, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, we need to stop playing. I mean, we really care about ourselves, and more importantly, whether it's our future generations, then we need to get on the ball. I mean, we're at the point where we need to be really acting drastic. Like we really want to be free. We need to be really taking things drastically into our hands to obtain our freedom. I mean, you know, I'm not talking about out of emotion, but we got to definitely be organized true enough, but we got to act as if we're moving drastically. Because like I said, we may not have no time left in this situation. So, you know, for right now, I'm going to pass it on to our keynote host of this hangout show today, Brother Taalik. May the mic be passed to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. As always, in the name of our ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another, excuse me, another edition of what we call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the mighty one, Agent Number 7, and also your soul brother, number 1. I want to, before we begin our talk, I want to make a quick disclaimer. The views expressed tonight are solely of the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. It does not necessarily reflect what we call Operation Exodus Mississippi. Operation Exodus Mississippi is simply the inspiration of or inspiring the residents of the state of Mississippi to use their vote to take control of the political system of that state. So in order that it not only benefits themselves, but we as a people all over this nation. It is not building a nation. It is not a country within a country. It is simply, as I told you, no more, no less. It has nothing to do with anyone's personal belief, political belief, or religion, or anything of that nature. It's as simple as I just explained. If you hear anything other than that from somebody claiming we are the Mississippi campaign, then that one is something that you might want to avoid, because it's not the Mississippi campaign. It's an altered version of the original. This is the original. This is the Mississippi campaign. This is Operation Exodus, Mississippi. Now, I want to say and give a shout out and thanks so much our assistant administrator, Brother Taalik, for opening up for me tonight. I'm sort of under the weather. Been doing a lot of talking. Doing a lot of talking is bad and good, because I have been receiving phone calls from many of you out there in YouTube land inquiring about this campaign, and that's a good thing. But I spent a whole lot of hours, and there's so many of you, and this weather, first it's hot, then it's cold, first it's hot, then it's cold, getting to the point where your brother sort of catching a cold, throat is sort of sore, and you know, that's sort of bothering me. I think I can live through that, though. I do enjoy talking to all of you who do take the time to give me a call and find interest in this campaign. So we will talk some more. Just be patient with me, because it's more people that's inquiring that I thought would be coming. So just be patient with me. I will be returning your telephone calls. And for those of you of whom I've talked with before, I will be getting back in contact with you. Somebody here within this team, somebody's going to talk to you. And we all need to know one another, because we are on the same team. Again, thank you, Brother Taalik, for opening up for me. In our house, in the box with me tonight, I have my friend of a long time, Brother Gary's in the house, and I just want to shout out to him before we continue. Brother Gary, how you doing, brother? Oh, I think his mic is on mute. Okay, that's fine. And I always love my sister Ann. She's there in the chat room along with our friend Syrian Jew. So with that, we are ready to go. The topic.
Hey, can you hear me real quick?
Yes, sir, I hear you.
Okay, go ahead. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, brother.
All right. The topic that we've chosen tonight is God gave Black people Operation Exodus, Mississippi. Now, I want to begin off topic, because this is something that grinds my gears. It's something that gets on my nerves. I got to talk about this real quick before we really get into our subject matter. There's always something grinding my gears. Oh man, I must apologize, because I know Brother Gary is there on my Facebook. I want to say shouts out to all my Facebook audience, those who are listening now and those who will be listening later. Oh, wow. How can I forget Facebook? We are live on Facebook as well as YouTube. So shouts out to all my Facebook friends who are stopping by live. And yeah, wow. How could I forget Facebook? Oh, wow. I am so sorry. But yeah, something grinds my gears. You want to know what grinds my gears? I'm going to tell you real quick. Look. I was watching the news today, and Brother Taalik did say something about it a little bit, about these persons from Guatemala. In fact, there's a caravan coming up from Mexico, and of course they are going to go through Mexico, and they're probably their destination is the United States. And President Trump was telling the Guatemalan government, or the Mexican government, one of those anyway, he was telling those governments, hey, we pay y'all a lot of money. Y'all supposed to be holding these people back. And it's actually, they're showing on the news, I mean, just thousands of people. They broke through whatever defense, whatever that is that they have there. These people actually just whoosh, coming on through. So their destination clearly might be the United States of America. President Trump said if necessary. We're not even talking about the National Guard. President Trump said he is going to send the military to the borders. So this is a serious situation. You have, I mean, it's a lot of people. This is abnormal. Not a few Mexicans trying to cross the border now and then. You actually have thousands coming up from Central America through Mexico, and I'm very sure their destiny, their final destination is the United States. And President Trump is saying, I ain't having it. He's not going for it. And that's not, just like Brother Taalik said earlier, that's not our concern. I don't really have too much to say on that issue. However, I can say this, you know, all nations have their laws. And these people are considered illegal immigrants because they are entering the country illegally. And I think no matter how you feel about somebody or whatever, you know, when you establish your border and you tell people this is how you can enter, it's just like entering your house. Not anybody can enter your house. So President Trump, being the manager of this country, he's looking out for what is in the best interest of his nation. And he does not believe that all these strange people, and I would say now, you know, people like him also demonize folks because you really don't know. He talks about so many of these people are criminals. That could be true, but that's not necessarily the reality. You have a lot of people in that crowd that's saying they are trying to save their life. They believe if they stay in the country where they come from, their lives could be taken. Many of them, they say they are starving. So I'm very sure some criminals going to get through the crowd, but you know, that's not fair to say that all these people are a bunch of criminals and they trying to, no, what they're doing is illegal, but at the same time, maybe if the United States would take up policies instead of exploiting other nations, actually help nations so those people would be more prone to stay in their own countries. You know, if you would help Mexico in a manner where they would help their own people, maybe many of them wouldn't be crossing the border. You know, maybe that would be better than dealing with this immigration problem, don't you think? I'm just saying. But the point I want to make on this, like I said, and prior to myself, Assistant Administrator Taalik said, that's not really our concern. I don't have too much to really say on that matter. But what grinds my gears now is I'm making an observation. And the observation is I'm looking at these persons who are so obsessed with Africa. They love Africa. I'm going to go back to Africa. I'm an African, whatever that is, because Africa is a continent. They never specify what actual persons, people, tribe they want to belong to. They just want to go to the continent. Now, here you are. Here we see thousands of people. I mean, thousands, not a few hundred, thousands of people risking their lives, giving their all. Clearly, they're not well off. They don't have a lot of money and things of this nature. They probably only have, the only thing they have is probably the clothes on their back, and they're doing everything they can. Look how far they're coming. They're coming from Central America all the way trying to get to the United States. Many of them don't have a dime. They're carrying their children and everything. But these African wannabes, oh, I'm so in love with Africa. So I'm like, wow, where's the caravan of all these RBG, of the red, black, and the green? Brother Taalik, where's all this? Did you see the news? Is there a caravan?
No, that's what I'm wondering. That's what I've been waiting on. That's what I've been waiting on.
Yeah, what waiting on?
30 years. That's what I've been waiting on.
I'm waiting on this caravan filled with all these, with Brother Bakari and Brother Guy and Umar Johnson and all these cats. Oh, Africa is the motherland. Oh, Africa is this utopia. Africa is so great. So I'm waiting to see this caravan, just like the one that's coming from Guatemala. I'm waiting for this caravan of RBG, the red and the black and the green. I'm waiting for all these guys to do the same thing going in the opposite direction. You know, you got two caravans, they be passing each other. And you know something? If all these RBG African wannabe folks leave, then, hey, look like we got room for the immigrants. Because the immigrants want to be here. The RBG African folks said they don't want to be here. They've been exploited and all this whatever, you know, white man's country, and they hate white people. Well,
don't forget, brother, not to cut you off, but don't forget, they want to replace them with us anyway.
Yeah. So, you know, hey, start the process. Hey, we should have a swap out, you know, have a swap out. You know? But it just goes to show how fake these people are. Because these people coming all the way from Central America here, many of them don't have a dime. Most of these RBG guys, they have good jobs, probably got decent bank accounts, they got cars, they got beautiful houses. I mean, look at Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson, every time I see him, he looks pretty sharp. Well fed. These people coming from South America saying they're not eating too good. You know, some of us over here, we sort of like 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds, 300 pounds overweight. So we eat pretty good. So that's enough where you can go to Africa. So why aren't they leaving? Why aren't they leaving? Because they're not serious. It's all a joke. It's all feel good. See, and then they want to convince people like you and me and others, Africa's the motherland. You just mad because you ain't an African. Well, be an example of what you're talking about. Won't you get y'all caravan of the red, black, and green, get y'all stuff together and form a caravan and go to Africa somewhere. Like these people are trying to come here. And maybe somebody might take you serious. Otherwise, I want to build my own nation. You're going to build your own nation where? How? With what? On the continent of Africa. Get your caravan, all you suckers, start rolling. Just like these people coming here. It's a joke, man. I can't take these people with this Pan-African stuff. I just can't take them seriously because they're not making no real serious moves. Now there's a brother called Nature Boy. Him and his people actually living in the jungle somewhere. I don't know exactly where they at. And there was a group of Hebrew Israelites.
They down in Central America.
Are they?
I think in Belize somewhere. Yeah, somewhere down in Central America.
Okay. And then we have, I know there was a group of Hebrew Israelites who actually left, and they actually are living in the state of Israel right now. I don't think it's a good life because they are soul brothers and sisters still, and the Jews that ain't holy and righteous as they try to paint themselves. I don't think they having a real good time there, but they left the United States. But these RBG folks ain't doing nothing. And that's what grinds my gears. Don't bring me that stuff and you're not serious. You know, because if I get serious, I'm going to be gone. You can believe that. You can believe that. But anyway, I just wanted to get that off my shoulder. Hope y'all didn't mind. I just, fake stuff just irks me. Then they get angry at you because you don't believe them. You ain't going nowhere. Why should I believe you? No plane ticket? No ship ticket? You don't have nothing. Just running your mouth. Oh, Africa, I just love Africa. You just hate Africa. I don't hate nothing. The continent of Africa have done nothing to me at all. So why should I hate Africans or hate Africa? I don't have no, I don't like your crap that you're trying to force on people. You're an African. You don't want to be an African yourself. Because if you did, then you would be doing what these people are doing. Form your caravan and go. And just go. All these excuses. I don't have enough money. These people don't have no money. I don't have enough food. These people don't have no food. Just excuse maker. Because the reality is you are a comfortable Negro and you enjoy what you got. Those people don't have nothing. That's why they're trying to get here. You have, even though you live in oppression, for an oppressed people, y'all live pretty good. I just wanted to get that off my chest, and hope y'all don't mind. I don't want to keep you long. I just want to get into this subject matter real quick. God gave Black people Operation Exodus, Mississippi. Now, how I'm going to pull this off? What I'm going to say? Let me see how I'm going to do this. Now look, I had a very unusual experience. Now, y'all know I don't promote, talk about God and spirituality, religion, and all that type of stuff. But I want to begin this talk by telling you of a very strange experience I had this week. Now, just follow me. Okay, I'm driving down the road, blah, 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 blah. It's a road I've driven countless times. I can't even tell you how many times I've driven this road. So I'm 9 miles away from a pretty big town that I need to go through. Okay, so the last thing I remember is the sign that I was 9 miles. Matter of fact, it was Hannibal, Missouri. Hannibal, Missouri is the town where that author, Mark Twain, that's where he was born. Hannibal, Missouri. I was 9 miles. I don't know what happened now. I can't explain this. I'm just going to try to describe this to my audience. So I'm driving. The last thing I remember is that sign, 9 miles to Hannibal, Missouri. And then all of a sudden I felt real funny. And you know how, like when you're driving and you watch those marks fly by as you're driving down the road, or how else can I describe it? It was something else, another way that I can describe it. It's like how can I explain? It's like just like something passed in front of you really, really fast. That's the type of feeling that I had, and everything went blank. I don't remember nothing. It takes about 10 minutes to get through this town, something like that. So by the time I came back into conscious, I was 20 miles outside of this town. I have no memory of going through this town. You cannot go through Hannibal, Missouri, because without knowing you went through Hannibal, Missouri, because Hannibal, Missouri has traffic lights, not just ordinary traffic lights. They have those type that flash, you know, the ones that flash when you run the red light, that type of thing. Hannibal, Missouri is hilly. It has curves, all that type of thing. I don't remember doing none of that. How could I go through Hannibal, Missouri and not remember? The next thing I remember is I was like 20 miles outside of Hannibal, Missouri, getting ready to go into another state. I don't know what happened. What happened to that moment in time? And you guys know I'm not spooky. I tries to keep it real. Ain't no alien. I wasn't abducted by an alien. Brother Taalik, I wasn't abducted by an alien.
Bro, that's called white line fever.
What's it called?
It's called white line fever. It happens to me every day. Me and you being truck drivers and what have you and stuff. It's an altered mental state where you drive great distances and what have you and stuff, and you cannot recall. It just seems like you went from A to E. Yeah. Rather than going through the chronology. I mean, you know, you go from A, B, the sequence and what have you. Yeah, that's a phenomenon, brother. And that happens to me every day.
Do it.
You know. So no, it's not like you seeing aliens, brother Taalik. I just wanted to interject on that. That's normal.
Well, while you're talking about it, brother Gary, how was I able to go through this town?
That's what I'm saying.
You know how
it's called highway hypnosis and what have you, brother. You can look it up. It's a common phenomenon, brother. You can just Google it right now, and you could. I mean, I ain't Google, but you know, me having a degree in psychology and sociology and having a degree in behavioral science, brother. I learned that even before I became a truck driver. That it's a phenomenon when you're driving down the road and what have you and stuff. Is that it's just a manifestation that your conscious and your subconscious, which that's an abstract concept and what have you and stuff, where your mind is. You've done it so long that you've been very repetitive about it. Is that I did it today, twice today. I went from I mean, when I reached my destination to Knoxville, 15 minutes before that, I'm just being honest and what have you and stuff. I was either on the phone or something like that. And I don't remember no cars in front of me. I don't remember, just like you said, the way you described it verbally.
Yeah,
it's a phenomenon, but that's been documented, brother. So as far as aliens, and I know you don't mean it like that and what have you and stuff, but it's a normal phenomenon with truck drivers, even people that's in four-wheelers.
Right.
So I mean, you can look it up and what have you and stuff. It's not nothing. You know, it gets to a point where where you're walking, right? I mean, one day if you walk long distance, consciously think about when you're walking. Say my left foot, my right foot, my left foot, you know, right foot, I'm walking. But in actuality, when you do so, you realize how natural and how involuntarily, like you blink your eyes and you don't recognize the ambient noise, background noise, like hearing tree cars and what have you. But when you consciously think about the noise and you making the steps and you blink, then those things come to you. But if you've been doing it for so long, it just becomes like a second nature. I understand the potential risk that us driving trucks like what me and you do is that but it's just like a second nature about it, man, because me and you do it for so long. I mean, you know, you've been doing it longer than I have. It's a second nature, brother. So don't think it's the aliens or whatever. I mean, not you, because I know you don't believe in the supernatural, you know, the suspension of the laws of nature and all that kind of, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
But that's a normal thing, brother. I'm gonna put it normal, so don't think it's bizarre.
All right.
It is bizarre, but don't think there's a maladaptive or something abnormal. You have a disorder, or you don't think nothing. That's normal, brother. Believe it or not. I'm gonna be quiet and let you go, bro.
Yes, sir. Hey, well, I appreciate you bringing that to us because you know that's the first time that has ever happened to me. It was a weird experience because, man, like I told you, you have to go through this town. It has stoplights. It's pretty busy, curves, all types of crap. And I'm wondering, when I start remembering, when did I do this? How did I make it through that town, man? I mean, that's amazing. I mean, so what is it? I just blacked out and it's sort of like sleepwalking or something, brother.
No,
Gary?
well, I wouldn't call it sleepwalking and what have you and stuff. We know hypnosis is a real deal, right? You believe it? I mean, not believe, but do you believe the scientific empirical data about hypnosis? Hypnosis is real. There's no anecdotal evidence about it. It's real. And that's the reason why they call it highway hypnosis. Is that it is how can I say it? It's just your automated way of your conscious and your subconscious. But you just clearly said this is the first time you experienced. You've been driving years. I mean, many years before I've been driving. I experience that every day. You see what I'm saying? And speaking about just like my life, it seems like if my life was a highway, there's a lot of things I don't even remember. As much as I could retain information And people say, "Oh, Gary, you know about this and all that." It's just there's a lot of things in my life going through the highway and going through this journey called my personal life.
Yeah.
Is that I don't remember a lot of things. It just seems like it's just been a blink of an eye. Like I just jumped and I bypassed from the age of 18 to the age that I'm at now. But as far as that and what have you and stuff, I mean, I believe it because you're an honest dude and what have you and stuff. I'm surprised that you haven't experienced before.
No.
But like I said, it's called highway hypnosis, man. It's white line fever. And a lot of people, especially drivers, professional drivers, and even common folks that are in four-wheelers experience this and what have you and stuff. Especially if you're a person that drives a route back and forth, to and fro, constantly, day after day, they experience that kind of stuff. Because a lot of times I'm gonna be real, people are on their phones, or I mean, even before the advent of the technology, people experience that. Even when they're looking through the windshield. You follow me? And but with the advent, like me, man, there's so many distractions. I'm looking at my GPS. I'm looking at my Qualcomm. I'm looking up. I'm looking at this and what have you and stuff. And then I say that every day. When I went through Nashville and don't remember none of this shit until I was out of that bad boy, 5 miles out of going eastbound past Nashville. I say that every other day. The way you feel, like, damn.
Yeah.
Yup. It's crazy, man. Your mental peripheral it gets narrowed that you don't consciously how can I say you don't consciously voluntarily sit there and just observe, you know what I'm saying? You're just doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're actually paying attention when you're not paying attention. And by doing so, you don't retain. It just bypasses. It just goes through you like a blink of an eye. And that's what I think. That's just my opinion about it and what have you.
Yeah.
But that thing is called highway fever. That's what it's called. It's a form of hypnosis. A subtle form of hypnosis.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Look it up when you get a chance. I know you will.
Yes, sir. Well, y'all, see, there's always an explanation, a logical explanation. No aliens, no demons. There's always a logical explanation. And, so
right.
That's
but you know what? But I'm gonna say this: there's nothing wrong, And I've been I used to be very religious and what have you. Then when I got out and I emancipated myself from religion, I went on the attack. But and then as I grown and what have you and stuff, and my personal progression and what have you, is that I learned. I mean, you see me on Facebook. I make videos like that one motivational video I had. I just learned how to reach people and on different schisms and different strata. And with religious people, there's nothing wrong. I know me and you are critics of religion and what have you and stuff. And I used to be a staunch critic, but I realized that that's what people, the majority of people are very religious. They are in love with their religion. There's nothing wrong with that. I know in our it causes suspend and hampers and it hinders people to reach their capacity as a group or a demographic. Because I can assume, speaking with you, and religion has been a historical psychological instrument that has suppressed us.
Yes.
And it has detached us from nature. It has detached us from reality
in
some kind of way. And what it has done, it has made us become so obsessed with the supernatural.
Yeah.
And the divine intervention to suspend the cosmic laws in your favor and to get us out of our demise and our pitiful thing. And that's the reason why a lot of times when I'm on Team Osiris and I'm in RÄvScroll or I'm on Facebook and what have you and stuff, and then I deal with a lot of pseudos, black pseudos and what have you and stuff, is that like you say it all the dang time, feel good.
Yeah.
It's a lot of feel good going on. And what it is, and I said that, I told you this years ago, is that when I was gradually breaking away from this racial, everything's predicated on race, which in,
Yeah.
in a lot of cases it is.
Yeah.
But I would just felt like that I was concentrated too much on the conflict and too much on the reactionary aspect, that I negated myself from the reality that I'm living here in this land called the United States of America. And just like you were saying about the RBGs, I mean, I was kind of like that 15, 20 years ago. But I realized that's not attainable, you know.
No.
But I'm going to get back what I was trying to say, and what it seems like I kind of deviate, but I will get back to. There's a method to my madness. Is that like you were saying about, you know, you was using the description about Guatemala and Honduras.
Yeah.
They got to that bridge, and then now they're in a little conundrum right now. And you know, Trump is sending troops. Bush Jr. sent troops, and President Obama sent troops as well. He sent, I think, 1,600 troops, and I think 2,200, something like that. Both his predecessors, Obama and Bush, did send troops to the border. Arizona, California, Nevada, and what have you. So it's nothing new that Trump is doing. I mean, his rhetoric is very anti-immigration, which is echoed in 1882 and 1924 with the Secular Act, with the Chinese and Hispanics and what have you. It's nothing new. But when you were saying about the RBG, you know, I'm with you on that and what have you in that aspect. And there's a common correlation that I see. You know, I made that video about the fringes of the Black conscious community.
Yeah.
I made that years ago.
Yeah, years ago.
Years ago, and I was talking about the video where I made a short essay, the pros and the cons and the suggestions, where you have the extremely angry Negro syndrome. Then you have the Black anti-intellectualism. Then you have the religious group. And a lot of times when I made those videos, I said a lot of it comes from my travels. So I don't detach myself. A lot of the things that I see comes from me. And a lot of the discrepancies that I was experiencing. But get back to the RBG and what have you stuff, the feel good.
Yeah.
The feel good, we have detached ourselves from the reality. And you, like you call the reality temples on earth.
Yeah.
And that we have we are so much, we have an attachment to the abstract of things. Like I said, retreating, like when I was speaking to brother Alchemy Prime, he's an author, and I was speaking to him up in Laredo, and I was speaking about we have proactive, we have reactionary, and a lot of times us Black folks, of the demise that we have been going through historically, we can't do things reactionary, proactive. So because of by doing so, our adverse consequences and our ramifications of us being historically and systematically ostracized, we have a tendency to seek refuge. And we seek refuge, and we seek things into an idealistic canopy. That's the reason why a lot of us are very good talkers. We speak very good. You look at brother Taalik was speaking about all those cats on YouTube. You know, there's so much different types. You have the Hebrew Israelites. You have like Brother Peliah. You have this brother over here and this brother or this sister. Their words are so very good as far as verbal, which is abstract. But when it's good on paper, but when it needs to be applied to reality, it has no effect. So therefore, a lot of people get caught up into the mantra. They get caught up in the rhetoric, and it feels good. And then after a while, just like a snowball, once they hear it, it starts as a very small tennis or a tennis ball. And then as they're attracted, they get anchored to it. And then what they do is they conduct confirmation bias. And then they become anchored to it. And then that little racket ball or tennis ball, which is the core belief on all these other schools of thought, then they only seek information that has the affinity or that's aligned or reinforces their core belief. And then that tennis ball grows into a baseball, then to a softball, and then it grows into a basketball. Then it grows into a super single on a tire. And then it grows and grows, and then when that person is there, they're dogmatic. And I'm using the analogy, and the ideals is that the feel good, it makes us feel good where you got brothers, and I know that you have your things, but I go by it, and I'm not saying you don't, but I'm a person that goes, I'm an objective person. I'm a very objective person. I strive on being objective and recognizing my biases and my prejudice to arrive to an honest assessment and evaluation. And a lot of these cats, you know, the feel good, like Africans were the original people in ancient Americas or Mesoamerica, but yet there's no empirical data that's yielding that. So therefore, you see a lot of brothers and sisters taking little pieces, grabbing out an act of desperation, and then they conjecturalize. And then when somebody who's a well-informed critic says, "Hey, man, the methodology that y'all utilize is not right," then they'll antagonize and say, "You're a coon, you're all that kind of stuff." But anyway, the bottom line, the thing that I was trying to get, no, that's what they do. I understand, but then who am I to say that? Therefore, I still can't take myself away from it because I used to be like that. But and being used to that, you can never escape from who you are. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of learned is that not to demonize or denigrate, I have to learn to be receptive. And then learn to be receptive, I learned. And this is very, like a lot of my brothers and colleagues, man, we've been through this stuff, is that we learned that we're here in America. We have heard all the we heard not all, but most of the rhetoric. We have learned a lot of the lectures and all that kind of stuff. This land that we're living in this society, yes, it's very, like when I teach my children, I sit and I teach my oldest daughter, you've seen the pictures of my kids.
Yes.
And I teach my children to empower themselves, to be responsible, to be, you are the embodiment of our ancestors, thanks to the thing that we call the biological thing of our nuclear DNA. And learn your relationship with nature and empower yourself. And there's nothing like my oldest daughter is a Christian. My other son, he's whatever. But out back then, if I was young, I would got on. I don't believe it. That's the white man shit. But I learned. What I learned is human beings are going to adopt all kind of things, and they are living in this land here. That going back to Africa, I made a video on YouTube. You're on my YouTube video. Is that when I talked about blaming the white man all the damn time, I went off, and I said blaming the white man all the goddamn time. That's become redundant, and it has become it's a mantra. We build the pyramids, but the white man fucked us up.
Yeah,
we got the melanin, but the white man got me. Like I made the analogy, if I'm living in the hood and the hood is messed up and screwed up and lapidated and all that kind of stuff, and you got Big Jimbo in the neighborhood and he's real big and swole, but then I have the ability to, even though that I'm kind of hampered and I can't escape that thing, but yet I have the ability to beef myself up and all that kind of stuff. But I don't do it, and Big Jimbo comes to me and pushes me and bullies me and takes my damn chain, and then I walk around with my lip poked out, and then I go back to my partners, and my partners, man, excuse me, I'm gonna say real talk. They'll tell me, man, get your bitch ass out of here with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, all that, like you were saying, the feel good, and then like Brother Taalik was speaking about the description, about I understand what he's saying because, like I said the first time, he gives a good description. You, on the other hand, also as well, that's aligned, related to what he was saying and what have you and stuff, is that a lot of the stuff, there's a common thing that we can all agree about, is that we talk too damn much. And we got to be fucking serious and tell the goddamn truth. Us niggas got some fucked up problems.
Yeah.
And we divert and allocate too much and delegate too much of our problems on this you know, Illuminati, and I'm not saying that's what y'all said,
Yeah.
Illuminati and this and Bilderbergs and all that. We got to be honest about that, because even though with the advent of the platform and the apparatus called the internet and the social media, where information can be distributed and diffused and dispersed amongst all of that, we can look at our youth. Look at the rap music. If that conscious stuff in YouTube has been out since what, me and you been on there back in 2007,
Yeah.
it sure ain't reaching the youth. The youth are
Nope.
actually, the
Nope.
youth is so getting more out of materialistic, and the culture of the rap music is very destructive.
Yes.
So it's obviously that damn all that stuff. And I like, don't get me wrong, I like what Sarnetta does and all these other, but don't get me wrong, and I know y'all do too. But it's obvious not doing. It's not potent.
Yes.
You see, it's not potent, brother.
Problem.
And the thing that you and brother think, that's why I'm sitting here listening. That is a very good idea, because even with Mississippi, if you get the logistics, you get the how can I say, the demographic resources, the equity, and all those kind of stuff. It's like you said earlier, like a goddamn cocoon. A butterfly don't start off looking beautiful. It wraps itself, like you said, under, I mean, the web, and it has to go through a little metamorphosis and what have you. Like I said, a dog that shit fast don't last long. It gets worse before it gets better. So what you two and you brothers are talking about, man, I really do, and I'm not applauding y'all efforts. What I'm saying is y'all two are coming together to lay the platform, is that you can't go to Africa. If you can't even fix this, whatever, in Baltimore and all that, why you want to worry about going to Africa? Let's deal with the thing. And because Mississippi has the people capital and resources, where, yeah, I'm speaking not whatever, but maybe Brother Taalik says we may not be there. I'm not trying to talk Martin Luther King. We may not be there, what have you, but yet we're trying to plant the seed or a template for y'all to say, in Mississippi predominantly is, if not the most poorest state in the United States. However, it is rich with black folk. If we can get enough people to be aware about their political potential and galvanize and utilize a logistic plan to mobilize people, to make more people engage. But then you're going to have some goddamn pro-black come to y'all. Which, I mean, well, man, y'all want to get into the political stuff, and then they're going to put up some Malcolm X video about what he said about Democrats, and they're hating on what y'all two are saying, what have you, rather than sit back and listen to what y'all have to say. You see what I'm saying? Like I was trying, I mean, excuse me, because I am talking, whatever, but I told you I was going to sit back the first 2 times I was there. But I mean, I kind of went off base and what have you and stuff, because I'm around.
It's all right, brother Gary. I think,
but no, but I really do, man. What y'all doing? Y'all setting the platform. Brother Talib is coming there and telling, man, a lot of the shit that we're doing is BS. A lot of that stuff and all that kind of stuff. The white supremacy, and that's a goddamn fact. White supremacy is here, and it's facilitated and it's orchestrated to keep black people down, and it's getting to the point where white supremacy are even going towards white people that are detrimental, or they're going after anybody. White supremacy. But that thing which y'all talking about, Mississippi, listening to the preliminary on the idea and realizing that it's going to be very difficult, which I know both of y'all already know that it will be difficult.
Yeah, no doubt.
That is a good, I think, in my opinion, is to spark and ignite, and hopefully you can have somebody endorse y'all, or find somebody eventually to help, how can I say it, energize and mobilize people to help, where people, the legalities, and how, the projections, and the strategic areas on where to go to help y'all out.
Yes,
I
sir.
said enough, and let me shut the fuck up.
No, you all right, brother Gary. No, you all right. You all right. So, but yeah, thank you, brother Gary, for that
Oh, yeah.
commentary. Also for explaining and giving a logical reason of my experience, because I'm telling you that threw me for a loop. I've never, and I've been driving since 2000. No, I'm sorry,
1990.
go back in the 80s.
80, yeah.
Yeah, I've driven on and off since the 80s, since 1982, actually.
God damn, I would knee high to a duck.
Yeah, as soon as I turned 21, because you got to be 21 to start driving, the big rigs.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Gary,
Yes,
how
sir.
long you been driving trucks?
I've been driving for 3 years, man. Matter of fact, to leave, let me see, what's the date?
October 20.
Yesterday was my 3rd year. My exactly 3rd years. Yes, sir, to leave.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to come back on here too, so I want people can hear your story. You know what we talked about.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, you talking about mine, or you talking about brother Taalik?
Brother Gary.
Oh yeah, man. I share that and whatever.
You got an interesting story I never thought would be coming from you. You've been through some changes, no doubt about that.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact,
Yeah.
Wasn't I in your documentary you made, the infringes of the, what'd you say?
Yeah. That's when me and you got into it. Me and you got into it and what have you. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I forgot what the hell happened, man. God damn, that was years ago. And I was real, I was very deep in black consciousness back then. And that's when I was writing. I think I was going to college at the time.
Yeah.
And when I was writing the essay, I think what happened was we was talking about the moon landing.
That's what kicked it off.
And then I made a video. It was cool. It was cordial and all that.
Yeah.
And then you start going on my ass talking about, man, you need to stop using big words. You need to get whatever shit. I was like, oh man. And then we were going. It was just, man. It just like you said on Sinatra. That's how we were doing. We were doing that way before all that shit was happening. But you know what? We set our differences aside, though. That's even before I met you. Because after that, when I made that video, I said, boy, when you listen to that video, man, I was rambling. I was like, this motherfucker ain't got his impotent, and he may not be impotent not only in his mind, he's impotent somewhere. And I went off. But then 2 weeks after I made that video, we set our differences aside, and I was on your Blog Talk Radio, and we talked.
Yeah.
And everything. And then 8 years later, I happened to walk into a place you can be in 8 billion different places. I happen to be with my partner, my buddy from Mississippi, big old yoke ass brother.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there standing 8 years after that, and you coming out there, you had your little beanie on. I said, man, I already knew. I said, man, I said Taalik. I think I said Taalik. I said Taalik. No, but you walked. I said, damn, I stood over there by the aisle because he was doing something. My partner ThÄ, that's his name. He from Mississippi. Big ass green, your big brother. And you seen him. And then you walked out, you was up there lollygagging. You had little crumbs of French fries. I said, hey, Taalik. And you looked at me, and I said, Taalik, and you came over there, and I said, ain't you whatever and stuff. And then you said, son of what? I said, see, that's what I'm saying, man. The universe, bro. The universe. The universe. I'm a pantheist, man. I'm a pantheist. I'm a pantheist, and I believe in the universe, man, and what have you stuff. But that is just crazy.
We ain't had no contact in, like you said, 8 years or so.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy how we met, man. That's what I'm saying. The universe, brother.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
thought you
very
was
cool
calling me
when that
Tariq. I thought you was looking for Tariq Nasheed. I'm
yeah,
like,
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know. But I remember you walked up in that bad boy, and I was sitting there waiting because my partner was doing. I was just doing like this, and then you had that big old like I think it was like a skull thing, but you just have it so wrapped up, and you just landing gang. And man, I recognize your face, man. Despite the fact I seen, I know you on YouTube. I immediately knew who you were. I said, "That's Angel Snuck Nut 7." And then you walked up, you made a right, and I said, he got to come back because he's going to Mickey D's. He didn't went to the bathroom. The bathroom's over here.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went in there, and I said, he got to come back out because that's where truckers go through.
Yeah.
And you came out there, and I seen like 2 or 3 French fries. Matter of fact, you was grubbing on that bag. You was eating when you was walking out. He said, who the hell this nigga is and shit. Oh, man. And then we talked, man. And I'm going to tell you, Angel Snuffed Up 7, we sat there by that ATM.
Yeah.
And Angel snubbing up, man, that dude, the same way he talk on YouTube, he don't give a fuck if anybody's around. He's right there breaking it down because he was up there. He did most of the talk because I was listening to him.
Yeah.
And my brother Toast was sitting there. He sat there attentive. And brother Angel snubbing up 7, I'm going to tell you, I mean, he wasn't talking all like loud and what have you stuff, but the way he talks right on YouTube is the same way he talks. He speaks his mind, man. I mean, he wasn't being loud and being disrespectful, like just talking out loud, but you was saying what the fuck you was saying, bro.
I'm a loud talker. I'm not gonna, that's just how I talk.
Yes, sir.
And we talked for about 2 hours or so.
Man, yeah, man, it was good.
2 hours,
yes, sir. I was like, damn, you got my number and stuff, and I got your number. And every now and then you'll send me a text. Because I always told me that anytime you and Brother Taalik get on there and what have you and stuff, let me know ahead of time so I can, because really, I know I'm talking right now. Normally, I like to sit back because I learned how to be a listener now.
Yeah.
And even though I was a good listener, but then my problem was I talk a lot, as you can see a little bit right now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. But if you see that YouTube video I made, man, I mean that Facebook video that motivational video, it took me 3 years to make.
I seen it, but I haven't had a chance to really watch it because I know you had a title in the description. You were saying it took you 3 years to make. I haven't really seen a
right.
Matter of fact, why don't you share that with me when you get a chance so I can make sure I watch that.
Oh man, yeah, but it's just go on my timeline, bro. You'll see it on there, and it's just a motivational thing, what have you, stuff about like I was saying, you can't connect the dots looking forward, but you can only connect them looking backwards.
Right.
So therefore, you got to realize that you got to go with your gut, your feelings, and what have you, and don't get caught up in dogma, which is the results of other people's thinking. Don't let other people's opinion drown out your own inner voice.
Yeah.
And it's just a motivational thing. And a lot of things I've been through, what I'm saying, tragedies I've went through and what have you. Matter of fact, when you see the last time me and you talked on Blog Talk Radio 8 years ago, oh my God, man, I had like death and where I was about to go to prison and defending myself, and I lost my best friend and I lost my brother. I mean, I went through shit, and I'm like, damn, what the hell going on? But like in that video, it's very. If you look at the video, it's that's one of the most professional videos I made. The music, the editing, it just and I've shared that, and and you always see some of my Facebook videos. What I've learned is to be yourself. I really love life. I love life. Yes. I love people. I don't care what race you are. I learned that, like I was telling my sister, she told me when I first started trucking, she said, Gary, you so smart. Why didn't you continue in your psychology? And I said, you know what? I have learned that I have invested and I've done so much trying to help people is that I got to learn how to be fucking selfish in a positive way. I've done so much shit trying to help this person, that, people, this. I said, I didn't, and I forgot who the fuck I was. And then I had to be honest. A lot of things that I'm not a fake motherfucker, but there was a lot of things that I had to tell the truth about, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, the challenge of the 21st century is not people that don't. It's not the illiterate. It's not the people that don't know how to read or write. It's the people that know how to read and write. They are the literate, because the 21st century of the challenges are people that don't have the inability to unlearn, to relearn. And that I said this a long time ago when I was young, but it never got to me until I got older, is that I says I'm always under constant modification, but yet I am anchored by my principle. You follow what I'm saying? And then that's why I learned living in this country and what have you, is that we're living in the matrix. And by living in the matrix, listen to the what's in the oracle, is that we got to do this shit together. This stuff that, and all this stuff is like, like these programs. These are programs, and that feel good. That's what I was trying to get to, because I kind of ramble, is that these kind of things are somewhat unattainable. And we got to be realistic about our aspirations on how we're trying to achieve those. This country is ours just as much as we say that we put in work, but yet we want to emancipate ourselves and we want to abandon and all that kind of stuff. This is our fucking country. Yes, it's unfair. That's why I was trying to say that I teach my children. If you understand the peripheral, the realities of the canopies of where we live in, it is very unfair. It's messed up, and it's especially because you being black. But don't let that shit goddamn deter you. Because I look at my father. My father came from Shaker Heights Projects amongst 7 sisters. He was the only son. My father, and I have never heard my father ever say shit about the white man. And I hated my father because my father was a disciplinarian man. He was mean. I didn't understand a lot of things that he said and what have you and stuff, because I was young and stupid.
Yeah.
And, and my dad went and got a master's degree. I mean, having degrees doesn't show anything. But he did what he did and raised us.
Yes, sir.
And, he unfortunately died. And then here go my mother, who's Filipino. And my mom didn't have no I taught you about it. My mom didn't have no education. My dad abruptly passes away. Did she go out there and bitch and complain? One of my reasons why I became a trucker, because I was going back to get my master's degree. But then I seen a lot of foreigners like my mother. My mama makes more money than I make. And I make about $74,000-$74,000 a year. Mediocre. My mom, man, shit. My mom makes more money than Van Camp got pork and beans, brother. And she looked like she broke as hell. But then my mom give up. Then my mom say about this and that. My mom learns the schism of this world that we live in. And then before I became a trucker, I seen people from Ethiopia, Cuba, France, Russia. Yeah. And they own it. They own our ops. Yeah. Because we live in a culture where we're spoiled. We are a spoiled people living in the country, and we bicker and bitch and whine about frivolous things, where other people in a different country where they was raised up, they didn't have no grasp. What we call worthless shit, or we bitch and whine and what have you. These people, like my mom and these folks from Cuba and Puerto Rico and Guatemala, they look at that like an opportunity. Like I said, an opportunity lost is an opportunity gain. Yeah. You see? And that's what black folks need to do. Black folks need to take fucking responsibility and stop blaming. Yes, we understand white supremacy. Yes, we know about that shit. But what we have created a monster. Like I said, we have created this idealistic canopy it's a form of feel good. Yeah. It's a drug where in reality, proactively, like I'm not any Hebrews, you're like, I said this 2-3 years ago, and my brother's on my Facebook. He's the author of, I'll show you the book later. And we was having a conference call. And I used the example of Hebrew Israelites that exemplifies this. Is that Hebrew Israelites, the extreme fundamental of Hebrew Israelites, and I understand the plight of a lot of Hebrew Israelites, where they were former Christians like all of us was. And something happened or somebody opened their minds up at their first eye or third eye. And, you know, I was pissed the fuck off when I found out, when I read Malcolm X's book, and then I read Dr. York's book, The True Star of Islam, and I started finding about the Illuminati. I got pissed the fuck off. I was mad because deep inside of my DNA, I always felt like us black people has done something. As a child, ever since I was a child, but I just didn't. And then when I read Malcolm X's book, and then I read Imam Sayyid al-Imam Isa al-Hadi Mahdi, The True Islam, both at the same time, and then I read The Message of the Black Man book in 1989, I was blown the fuck away. And I was pissed. I wanted to slap the shit and slap fire out of every white man that I've seen. And I did. I'm being honest. I'm just talking about when I'm just being raw, bro.
That's the way I felt too.
I was mad.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I was compelled that I had to tell all my black people about that shit. And anybody that knows me in high school, I was in high school. A lot of people on my Facebook, they know me. I was in there, man. I was in that damn thing. I was going off on people. I was a flame. I was like Khalid Muhammad. And but what I'm saying is that as I grew, and then I kind of got disenchanted with the Nawapi Nation of Nawapi Nation back in the late 90s. I got disenchanted, and I'm like, damn, you know, and I realized that that this this stuff that we're living in is that, well, when I was talking about Hebrew Israelites, I was telling Prime, they exemplify it was that they can't do shit to the white man as much as they talk so much shit about Esau or Edomites, the white man, right? In reality, they can't fuck with the white man politically, socially, economically, culturally, and all that. However, it's called a cargo cult mentality, the resentment mortality, where, okay, we know the white man loves that Bible. So what we do is we're going to put ourselves, abandon the Christianity, and then we're going to adopt a more extreme form of doctrine. And we're going to show the white man how much we know about the scriptures, the Bible, and how much we know that it's false and it's art. So what they did is they can't do things in reality, so they have to do things in what we call reactionary. And they will scream, and then like I made the example like this. Native Americans, when the Europeans came, the Native Americans have a rich culture. They had a very rich culture before the Europeans and the colonials came, and the Caucasians came over there. Excuse me for mispronouncing it. And they had their ritual. I'm doing this in simple things. No disrespect to Native Americans, but I'm just saying they had their original rituals. They go around the fire. They dance around the fire, and they had their little, you know, how high they want the fire. When the white man came, and when they was repelling the white man, and then eventually because of the technology, the advanced technology of weaponry and warfare of the white man against the Native Americans, the Native Americans could not fuck with it. So what they did is they retreated to their idealistic canopy. Rather than going through, they only go 50 reps every 15 minutes. They felt like the way we can't beat the white man in reality with the technology. So in our spiritual thing, we can defeat the white man if we intensify and amplify and increase and accelerate the going around the fire. Then on top of that, we'll add more wood to the fire and make the fire expand and grow. So it's a symbolic thing that we're symbolically defeating the white man, but in reality, we're not. So like I was using the example of the Hebrew Israelites, they're screaming and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we know that Bible better than most average white people. We're fucking them up. And they're going to have 300 million black angels going to come. And you'll notice a lot of them can't get away. They can't eliminate a lot of their old ways off the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They can't, they're disciplined of their emotions. They're more caught up in the fundamentals. They're more caught up in the, you know, symbolically in their minds, they're doing something, but economically, socially, politically, and what have you and stuff, the social dominance is not, they ain't doing anything. So that's the same way I see that I hear echo from Brother Taalik and like you about a lot of this stuff that, yes, like Sonetta platform, they're telling, I could extract kernels of truth out what they're saying. But we're still repeating the same shit. What I like about what you two brothers are doing is that a lot of brothers will say, y'all some coon, y'all some fucking Martin Luther King dudes, that political shit ain't worth. There's a side of me, honestly, that I concur on your approach, your theme, that you got to utilize the political shit. How y'all go about doing it, that's up for debate. But I'm for you and Brother Taalik. Brother Taalik is a dude that's breaking shit down raw. And that's what I'm serious. I hear what he's saying. You know, and you are saying what you're doing, what have in your regards, and y'all will unify. And y'all will continue to broadcast your information. It touches this person and that person. And hopefully, which I hope, it spreads out and it touches more people and it gets more people to participate and engage. And as it does, it coalesces and it expands and it brings more awareness to y'all agenda. And by doing it so, it can engage into y'all political move. So, excuse me for rambling, what have you, but.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Gary.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow, you brought the reality of my little experience with the driving thing. So that sort of threw my whole the way that I was going to present how God gave black people Operation Exodus.
My bad.
So now I can't be magical and spirit.
Yeah.
But anyway. We want to bring this to conclusion. I'm just going to try to wrap it up real quick.
Okay.
And still bring to us just a little bit of the mind that I was thinking when I came up with this subject. See, look. Okay. God gave black people Operation Exodus, Mississippi. Coming from a religious, spiritual mentality. You know, in the Quran, it talks about that God is the best knower. Allah is the best knower. And Allah chooses whom he pleases. If you look at our sojourn in this country, you got the RBG movement, the Hebrew Israelites, Kemetic folks, or whatever. We can go on down the line. And thousands and thousands of people who believe in these things. And we're not moving as a people. And I would say this to us, coming from a religious point of view. God loves you, but you're not acting upon what God wants you to do. You have failed your creator. And so when you fail your creator, then he passes on that assignment to somebody else whom he chooses according to Allah. And see, you cannot dictate who Allah chooses. And if you really understand God, then you should recognize God's man. Now, sometimes we don't like people because of the vessel. We don't like certain things because of the vessel that is contained in. So, for instance, you have a racist Caucasian person, and they need some blood transfusion or whatever. And the only blood that's available comes from a black person. Now they prayed to God, I don't want to die. You know, I need this blood transfusion, and they asked their God for this to save my life. And God answers, but God brings this black person with the right blood, which is the wrong vessel for this guy. Now, are you going to accept God's blessing, or are you going to just go ahead and die? You ask God, God answered your prayer. Here it is, but you don't like the vessel that is in. Unfortunately, for some folks, they would rather die and curse God. But yet and still, you said that you believe in God, and you said that God is the best knower. You said God deems whom he pleases. That's what God gives you. Because see, we all, going back to what Brother Gary was talking about, we have a fantasy way of looking at things. And we don't look at things in a real sense. Just because something don't come in the manner you think it comes, then you reject it. So Operation Exodus Mississippi comes to brothers. We are not religious. We're not spiritual. We're nothing like the RBG or the Kemets or the Moors or the Hebrew Israelites. We're nothing like none of these things. We're not the Christians. We're not the black Muslims. And we come in a package that is not like all those different things. But if you take Operation Exodus, you take the Mississippi campaign, and you compare it with all the different various solutions present and in the past, if you put them side by side, just like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told Malcolm, you don't have to condemn a dirty glass, just put a clean glass next to it. Whether you like it or not. And some people have actually submit that this idea, this concept, in fact, it has been stolen. Some guy, some brother, you want to call him a brother, he actually stole the name Mississippi Campaign and altered it. So we know that this idea, this concept is good. But because we don't like the vessel, Angel Snuffed Up 7, I like the idea. It sounds like it could work, but I don't like that Negro. He talks about people and he's arrogant and he's too black. Whatever your problem, you know. Then he got that Taalik guy with him too. He sucks. You don't like the vessel. So you're going to deny something that can give you life. You would rather die than embrace something that gives us life. Don't you think that's foolish? What kind of student of God are you? What kind of believer of God are you? You ask God to send us something. Matter of fact, I'm not spiritual or nothing. But even I did it. I'm not spiritual. I don't believe in this God thing. Well, actually, you know something? In a way, I do believe in God, but not in the way that y'all do. Because if there's a higher power, if there's a supreme being, and that being is the God, and we are the children of God, then shouldn't we not have some of that power? If the God created the heavens and the earth, shouldn't a God or us little children of God, shouldn't we have enough power in order to break the grip of what we call white supremacy? That's easy. That should be easy compared to the creation of the heavens and the earth. We can't break white supremacy. That should be an easy thing. If I hear y'all talking about it, y'all gods and goddesses, but we don't see that power made manifest. We don't see it demonstrated. However, you ask your God, what can I do? Give us to our problem. And I asked the power, the higher power. I didn't ask the supreme being directly, but see, if I'm God, then I can go to myself because God gave you everything that you needed. And what the main thing that we always ignore is that God gave us a brain. This brain was given to us. It's capable of solving any problem you will ever have or dream of. Your brain would take you into worlds that you physically would never go. But you can go there with your imagination, your creativity, your brain. That's a good thing and a bad thing. Because the bad thing about it, because we have imagination, then we fall in love with some of this fantasy and fictional thing, and it becomes real in our minds. And that's a bad thing, because now you're not dealing with reality. A fictional solution cannot solve a real problem. So we have these solutions, but you're not comprehending reality. And right now, brothers and sisters, I would tell you, see, if you think that God, the God that you need to be looking at is the God in yourself, the God in ourselves, because that's the God, or those are your parents. But once you become an adult, or is that the problem? Is that the problem, that we have not grown up yet? Because I also notice in religion, we always talk about the children of God, but I never hear about us being adults. We never grew up. Because, see, there's a problem. Because, well, first of all, you can never stay a child. A child must grow up to be an adult and a grown human being. A chick must become a chicken. A puppy must become a dog. You cannot stay a child. So how long, if we are the children of God, how long are we going to stay children? When will we grow up and become gods and create the heavens and the earth? Because even in your scripture, it talks about God creates a heaven and a new earth, and the former things shall pass away. When you become God, or when it's your turn, it makes no difference what your parents done, and you love your parents, but now it's your day, it's your turn. And the former things, you can love your mother, you can love your father, and all those older than us, but they will pass away. They will pass away because now it's your turn. And in this reality, as you grow older, pretty soon the same thing will happen to you. Something new will come in and take your place, and we will all pass away. We are the ones that's responsible to make Dr. King's dream come true. We are the ones that have the capability to go to that place where Dr. King wanted to. He said that you can get there. I may not get there with you, but you can get there. We will see the promised land. The promised land, brothers and sisters, is Mississippi. The beginning. It's the beginning. It's the beginning of something that opens up so many doors we can't even imagine. You pray to God and you want your God to answer your prayers, but you don't like the vessel. But here's the answer. I challenge to debate anybody. Bring your so-called solution. One brother says, my solution is education. My solution is building a skill. Bring that. I'll be happy. Let's have a civil debate on the solution. And we compare Operation Mississippi with what you have. I guarantee you, it can't compare. And Operation Exodus Mississippi forces us into unification. All these other things don't do it, because in order to make this work, you must learn how to love me, whether you like me or not. Learn to love your sister. We must learn how to embrace and work with one another. And Operation Exodus Mississippi has no foundation in religion or political idea. It's just simply, like Malcolm said, by any means necessary. Whatever tools your oppressor give you, take advantage of it and use it. We have the vote. We have a large population in the state of Mississippi. Nobody don't even care nothing about the state. You are in a position right now. It's open season. Go in and take it. You don't have to buy no land. You don't have to buy no land or nothing. Just take control of things and just use it, because you take control of it. You take care of anything that the state of Mississippi owns. You take control of the laws and the politics, whatever they own and control, you do it. So whatever lands that the state owns or controls, you can get a hold of it. You can change laws so it can benefit the black farmers that's there. Change up the educational system. But I'm gonna tell you also, in order to make this successful, we must make a change. You cannot continue to have this, what we call a nigger type attitude. Because the only thing you would do, even if we were able to take control of the state, we would fail. You have to have a whole different outlook on life. We have to inspire our people to be what we call righteous. You can't sit around getting drunk. Can't beat your women. You can't allow the child molestation. There's things that we can't do. No, you can't keep doing drugs and drinking alcohol and all. We got to change. Because if you're not going to change, we might as well just stay where we at. It don't make no sense. But see, if we do this right, all this bragging that y'all do about Kemet and Timbuktu and all the greatness, if you do this right, you can easily surpass that and become the shining example that your God wants you to be for the whole world, not just in America, but in the whole world. This is much bigger than you. This is actually an attempt to save humanity, because if humanity itself continues to go in the direction that it's going, the so-called Negro soul brothers and sisters, we might be the first one to see that mass grave. But believe this, the rest is following right behind us. So there are those, as Brother Taalik said, there are those who are planning the demise or the death of soul brothers and sisters in this country. But there's also an old saying said, when you dig a grave for somebody, you might as well be digging a grave for yourself. You're not going to beat the God, because the God plans, and it says in the Quran that Allah is the best of planners. How can we reject the gift? This is it. This is the gift. Operation Exodus Mississippi is the gift. It's the answer. The only thing we have to do is carry it out. You don't have to like me. I don't have to like you, but just begin to carry this out. And you want to know something? As we do this great work and you begin to see the success, you'll look at me and I might look at you. You know something? You ain't so bad after all, man. See, it's this frustration, living in this filth, in this hate, this world that we caught up in, that makes us don't like one another, because you don't have nothing. You look at me, I'm trash. I look at you, you're trash. We don't have nothing. But see, we can bring an end to that if we have time, because time is of the essence. Time is not going to wait for you to make the right choice. When you're waiting on the bus, you're supposed to be at the bus stop at 7:15, and you're not there, the bus keep rolling. If you're supposed to be given a gift and you don't appreciate it, I don't want that. What they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. I'm telling you, I'm gonna end this talk. I've been hearing through the grapevine. Somebody called me and they told me some other people, and they ain't black, they heard about this Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign, and they're not black. And they are wanting to organize. And if we're not going to do it, they're going to do it. I'm telling you. So, and if we allow that to happen, and we were the first ones, the God gave us the gift first. You want to sit back? I don't like you and blah, 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 blah. Keep tripping. Keep tripping. When you wake up one day, the Germans have a state. The Mexicans have 2 or 3 states. All these other people, those Guatemalans that came across the border, they got a state. You want to be tripping, now you don't have nothing. You will be on the bottom forever. It's over, done. That's the legacy that you left your children. Because you want to be silly. Because you don't like somebody. I don't like Gary. I don't like that Taalik. I don't like that sister. What's her name? That Sister Ann person. I don't like Sister Ann because who you don't like. So you reject a perfectly good gift and a concept because of what you don't like the vessel. And that's going to mean and cause your death, the death of your future generations that you claim that you love. Because really, we're not looking at this for ourselves. We're looking out, trying to put our children in a better perspective. You take control of Mississippi, that is successful, then we go for Alabama, then we go for Georgia. And just like Brother Gary said earlier, this is ours. You know we built this. Our ancestors built this. Why you want to jump and run to Africa when all our ancestor blood is right here? Nothing wrong with trying to build a relationship with Africans if they want a relationship with us. I'm not going to beg them for love. If they see us and want to be my brother and sister, cool. But if they don't want nothing to do with us, that's fine too. The only one that I'm in love with right now and care about right now is those who are descendants of slaves born in America, having dark skin, the people I call the people of soul, we who are or otherwise the rainbow people. Time is not going to wait for us, brothers and sisters. You say that you believe in God and you pray to God for these answers. God has answered our prayers with Operation Exodus Mississippi, but you don't want it because you don't like me. Well, serious mistake. We have to work this out. We have to work this out some kind of way. We cannot sit around talking about I hate this person and blah, blah, blah. If all the leadership needs to get in a room and they don't come out till they are unified, and then they said, let's do this Operation Exodus Mississippi, let's do this. You'd be so happy. You accomplished this in no time. Because we have the, what's that they said when they was making Steve Austin the $6 million man? We got the technology. We got the know-how. And they just put the bionic man together. We got everything. I can't do it by myself. Brother Taalik can't do it by himself. Hey, no, I know I can. We cannot do it by ourselves. This is a people project. If the people don't want to do it, it cannot be done. I can't do it by myself. This is a people project. And the people can do it because overall, we have the talent. I don't think that the God would reveal this brilliant, I'm not saying it because it came from me and Brother Taalik or whatever. It's brilliant when you think about it. What it's founded on has nothing to do with religion, has nothing to do with you being converted to something, has nothing to do with that. You're just putting our people, all of our people, into a better position in this life in this country. And from that success, it can only get better. We are already on the bottom. There's only one way up, and that's to the top, if you want to do it. But this is a team effort, not a follower. You're not following me. We are doing this as a team. We're not following nobody. We are taking advice and working as a team. So the gift is here. The only thing we have to do is just, like Nike said, just do it. With that said, y'all, I'm a little on the tired side. Brother Gary brought some information, threw my whole speech off. because I didn't know nothing about highway fever, but it's all good. I think we still had a pretty nice talk tonight, and might come back tomorrow and say something. I'm not really sure. It'll be spontaneous. I'm not really sure. I have some errands I need to run, but I don't know. I am so happy that you joined me. Y'all never really keep me by myself. Thank you, Assistant Minister Taalik, for opening up for me. Thank you, Brother Gary, for being with us.
No doubt.
Thank you, Syrian Jude and Sister Ann. Sister Ann said she fell asleep. Don't worry, you'll catch the rerun, Sister Ann. You know I'm gonna put it on my channel. You ain't gonna be able to miss it. All those in the chat room, all those in the listening audience, all those who are on Facebook, thank you for joining us, and I really appreciate it. And again, I'm looking for 20 to 100 organizers or supporters, by December of this year. And I was told that we're going to make that goal. And slowly but surely, I'm getting the telephone calls and the emails. I'm pretty sure that we're going to, 20 is a minimum. I'm pretty sure we should easily do that. I would like that 100. And become a supporter or part of the organizing committee, because this effort must be organized. I can't think of everything. I'm very happy that my soul sister Ingrid, she joined the team. Sister has a lot of experience, a lot of common sense and know-how. She's very logical and very sincere and ready to do the job, to get this train on the tracks and get it to rolling. So with that said, thank y'all so much. Like I said, maybe might see you tomorrow. Spend a little time with us tomorrow. I'm tired. As you can see, I'm rambling because I am tired. I'm just keep rolling. Let me that's all, folks. As Don Cornelius always says, important. I wish us love, peace, and soul. Till next time, y'all. We going off air.